What's up? What's up? Just giving people a little bit of time to come in. Hola. Hello NM, hello UMP, hello VFL. 45% on ETH, a good place to start being the bank. An ETH USDC wouldn't be the bank, that'd be Coinbase. But that, I mean, it's up to your own if that's good enough for you. It's not based on my opinion. I mean, it sounds solid to me. All right, I'm just gonna give people a little bit more to come in. I got 4 people on here right now. I imagine a few people are still trying to find their way over. Hello. Because when I get started, I want everyone to be on here because I don't want to. I'm not going to start over, so I don't want anyone to miss anything. So I'm going to give them about another minute to get on the stream. We'll get started shortly. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take like 1 minute. I'm just going to go run to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Be like 1 minute. I think we're probably ready to go, huh? Drop in the comments real quick. Did you come over from TikTok? Let me know if you came over from TikTok. Says, funny. After listening to you, my losses make a lot more sense. Yeah? I've been around a long time. I've made a crap load of mistakes, right? So I've had to evaluate my way through this stuff. And so when I share it with you, it's like 10 years of being in crypto experience, like making all kinds of mistakes, and I've had to evaluate them to figure out why I did wrong. All right. So put a 1 in the chat if you're in here because of the DeFi stuff I was talking about, getting 200% yield on Bitcoin and stuff. Put a 1 in the chat if that's why you came in here. Can you guys see? Oh, there's a 1, okay. Some 1s, okay. All right. So I'm gonna prelude this. DeFi's been around for like 8 years. I've been in DeFi for 7 years, right? I've been through probably 1,000 different protocols. I've made a ton of mistakes. I've learned a lot of lessons, and that's what I'm gonna share with you, and I'm gonna try to make it really simple. And really in DeFi, there's 3 things you can do. You can be the bank, you can be the house, and you can be Coinbase. I'll dive into how all 3 of those things work. The first one I'm gonna start with is be the bank, right? So this is decentralized finance. In the centralized finance world, you have banks. How do banks make money? They lend money and they get their money back plus interest. Well, in DeFi, guess what? You can lend money and get interest on it, okay? How does that work? Let me show you an example real quick of the kind of yields you can kind of get. It's mostly a stable coin play. For instance, here, right now on USDC, you can get about 8% on this other stable coin. You can get around 10. Over here on PayPal, you can get about 6, right? So you're gonna get somewhere between usually like 7, 8, 9, 10% on stablecoin, okay? It's a good place to be very low risk and get a return as you're waiting for maybe a good buy the dip opportunity, okay? That's the main thing that I do with it. Now, let me be very clear with you. You're probably wondering, well, wait a minute, lend money, how does that work? Well, here's how it works. You deposit, let's say you deposit $1,000 of stablecoin into one of these protocols, and someone comes along and wants to borrow it. They don't need your permission. They don't need to ask you. You don't do a credit check, anything like that. So here's what happens. You put $1,000 in there. By the way, you can take out that $1,000 plus whatever interest you've earned whenever you want. No fees, no penalties, no one to stop you, none of it. 24/7, 365, okay? But you put $1,000 in there, we'll say, and someone wants to borrow that $1,000. Well, they can just borrow it. But, caveat, in order for them to borrow it, they need to provide collateral. Collateral, meaning that if they're gonna borrow $1,000 of stablecoin, they need to put up probably $1,500 of collateral. So let's go through the example. You put $1,000 in there, someone comes along and borrows your $1,000 and pays you maybe a 10% interest rate, okay? But before they can do that, they have to put up, say, $1,500 of Solana token, okay? So they borrow your stablecoin and you're earning interest, right? For whenever they pay it back. In the meantime, that Solana, let's say they put in $1,500, but let's say it goes down to being only worth $1,200. Well, that's pretty close to the $1,000 they borrowed. So what the protocol automatically does to protect you and make sure you get paid, here's what it does. It will take that Solana that's now only worth $1,200 and immediately sell it to pay you back plus interest. That's what a collateralized loan is. So I just deposit my money in here and I can take it out whenever I want, plus any interest that I've earned. And it's completely protected because in order for anyone to borrow my money, they need to first provide collateral that's worth more, significantly more, than whatever they're borrowing. And if that collateral goes down in value, it gets sold off to pay me back plus interest. Understand? Put a 1 in the chat if you understand that. At least the concept of it. That you put money here, anybody can borrow it, but before they do that, they have to provide collateral. And if that collateral goes down in value, it gets automatically sold off to make sure you're paid back and made whole, plus interest. And you can withdraw all of your money and your earnings whenever you want. No fees, no penalties, no bullshit. This isn't some bank where you need approval. You just click a few buttons and boom, it's done because it's all on the blockchain. And you can deposit as much money as you want, whenever you want. It's all something called permissionless, okay? But these protocols are set up in ways to protect everybody. So it's a good place to park stable coins while you're waiting to buy some dip. When there's just nothing great in the market and you're like, well, I don't want my money sitting in the bank, so I'll put it over here where I'm getting 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% interest. And if an opportunity pops up, I'll pull it out and buy that, right? So it's not somewhere to really put your rent money. It's somewhere to put your unused money, right? Your investing money. It's not bad to just take a percentage of your paycheck and put it in here and let it work, if you don't know what else to do. So that's the first strategy, be the bank. The next thing is be the house. By the way, go back to be the bank. I talked about a stable coin situation, right? Well, you could also deposit like Solana or Ethereum and get yield on it because people could borrow your Solana or Ethereum. Same principles, they got to provide collateral beforehand. You can do it with that. I just don't very much. I use it primarily as a place to get yield on stablecoin, to grow my stablecoin into more stablecoin. And what's the word for that? If you can put your dollars here and they just grow into more dollars, what's the term for that? There is a term. Passive income. Put a 5 in the chat if you like the idea of passive income. All of these that I'm talking about here are passive income or passive asset accumulation. And that was the first strategy, be the bank. The next one I call be the house. And what do we know about the house? The house always wins. So this one is definitely only a stablecoin play. And my favorite place to do it, over the last year, it's paid around 42%. Currently, there's about $82.5 million in this pool. It's paid about 42% over the last year, on stablecoin. And again, same thing. I can deposit as much as I want, and I can withdraw all of it plus my earnings whenever I want, without fees and penalties and any bullshit like that. Whenever I want. Now, how does this one work? Be the house. Well, think about, how does the house work? The casino. They play against the gamblers, right? And what do we know about gamblers? The lot of them, as a whole, in the long run, they lose. That's why the house always wins. So, but in crypto, they're not playing slots or blackjack. They're trading. They're doing longs and shorts. They're taking on leverage. And in order to take on leverage, they need to borrow money. Guess what? I will lend you money. Pay me a nice interest rate. So then they borrow it. And you want to know what else? When they lose their trade, whenever they take a loss, guess where that money goes? To the house. So I get the interest from them borrowing my money, plus I get to rake in the lion's share of their losses, again in stablecoin. So that's why you get that interest from the borrow and that interest from the gamblers losing. Some days the gamblers win, but you know damn well most days they lose. That's why over the last year, this protocol, this Be the House place, has earned about 42% on stablecoin. And again, deposit as much as you want, withdraw whenever you want, plus your earnings, all that stuff. All these strategies, you can deposit as much as you want, you can withdraw all of it, plus your earnings whenever you want. No fees, no penalties, no bullshit, no one to stop you. Pretty powerful, right? So those are the first two strategies, right? Be the bank, be the house. They're primarily getting passive income, getting yield on stablecoin strategies. The third one is my favorite. That's the one that I showed you over on TikTok that got you real excited. The one that I'm earning 200% on Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. Now, all of this stuff, it fluctuates based on demand, right? If more people want to borrow stablecoin today, guess what? They're going to pay a higher interest rate. If less people want to borrow stablecoin today, they're going to pay a lower interest rate because it's all dependent on supply and demand, okay? If more people gamble today, guess what? They're going to pay a higher interest rate borrowing in the Be the House strategy. Same thing with the third strategy, which I call being Coinbase. Being Coinbase. They're not borrowing there. What they're doing is they're swapping. They're selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, right? Selling Bitcoin for stablecoin, taking their stablecoin to buy Bitcoin, to buy Solana, to buy ETH, to sell ETH, to buy ETH. You get it? So, question. How does Coinbase, how do they make most of their money? How does Coinbase make most of its money? Drop in the comments. How does Coinbase make most of its money? Robert says fees. Correct. So does Ump Break. Fees, exactly. Because when you sell Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin, sell ETH, buy ETH, sell Solana, buy Solana, whatever you do on the Coinbase platform, you pay about a 1.5% fee, and that goes straight to Coinbase. So in the Be the Coinbase strategy, guess what? You're being Coinbase. So anytime someone buys or sells a coin, they pay a small fee. Now Coinbase charges about 1.5%. The places we use only charge about 0.05%, which is 1/30th as much as Coinbase. So the users that are buying and selling in DeFi are happy because they're paying lower fees, and us, the Coinbase people, are happy because we're getting fees. Okay? And those fees typically add up to around 100% over the year. So let me show you that one that I showed you initially, where I was over here with Bitcoin and stablecoin, right? So anytime someone sells their Bitcoin for stablecoin or takes their stablecoin to buy Bitcoin, they pay a 0.05% fee, which is 1/30th of what they pay on Coinbase. And currently, over the last 24 hours, there's been a lot of demand, a lot of volume, and it's paying me around 250%. 250%. Now that's higher than usual. As it averages out over the year, I found over time, it's usually around 100%, which is fucking fantastic, right? But sometimes you have these days where you're getting well over 200%. So listen closely. When they pay that fee to me, or to you if you're doing it, whoever, when they pay that fee, guess how that fee is paid to me. What am I getting paid in? When they pay, when I'm earning 250% and they're paying that fee in this pool, right? When I'm earning, what am I earning in? What am I getting paid in? Drop in the comments. What am I getting given as my fee, as my yield? Crypto, says Robert. Crypto, says VFL. Stablecoin, says UMP. The crypto they buy, says MP and Pixie. Well, in this particular pool, my fee, my yield, is being paid to me half in Bitcoin, half in stablecoin. So let's say I have $10,000 in there, okay? Over the course of the year, it's gonna average out to probably about 100% yield, right? Today's 250, but in long term, it averages out to about 100%. Ooh, boo-hoo, right? Fantastic. So say I put 10K in there. Over the course of a year, I should expect to earn about $5,000 in Bitcoin and about $5,000 in stablecoin on top of the money I put in here. So my 10K, I should expect over the course of a year to roughly turn into about 20K. By doing what? Nothing. Just being Coinbase and letting people use my funds to do these exchanges and pay me that fee and get that yield. Are you getting this? You may have questions like, whoa, but it's as simple as what I said. If I put 10K in there, over the course of a year, I expect to get about 5K in Bitcoin and about 5K in stablecoin on top of the money I put in, and I can withdraw all of it whenever I want. I can add to it whenever I want. Crazy, right? So I've been doing this for about 7 years. Now, it hasn't always been this good. It's been way sketchier in the beginning, but it's gotten really good with really well-established, capitalized, professional teams. And but let's say you knew how to do this a year ago, right? A year ago. For yourself, whatever your level is at, whatever it is, how much do you think you missed out on? Like, how much Bitcoin, dollar value, and stablecoin do you think you've missed out on in just the last year, not knowing how to do this? Drop in the comments. I like to always take that kind of little poll and see where everyone's at, get a temperature check. Robert says a lot. 20K says UMP. I think it's probably fair to say, for most of you, over the last year, you probably would have earned at least a few $1,000s, right? So I say that right now as like a come to Jesus moment, like, do you want that to continue? Do you want to continue to miss this and leave all that on the table? Are you going to continue not knowing how to do this? You probably don't want to. You probably want to learn how to do this. So let's see here. Does this include price fluctuation? Yeah, well, don't quite understand the question. Price fluctuation, like, I'll say this. Like, say I put $10,000 in here, right? So probably half of it would be Bitcoin, half of it would be stablecoin, based on today's price. Yeah, if Bitcoin price goes down, the initial money I put in there, its value is going to go down because the Bitcoin is going to drag it down, just as if I'm holding Bitcoin, right? And the Bitcoin I've accumulated, the value of that Bitcoin will go down too. But what do we know about Bitcoin? Here's a question for you. In, say, 3 years from now, do you think Bitcoin's price is going to be higher or lower than it is right now? Drop in the comments, I want to know. Like, imagine you're running this strategy for 3 years, accumulating Bitcoin at like 100% a year and stablecoin. Do you think Bitcoin's going to be worth more or less than it is right now in 3 years from now? Drop in the comments. I want to take a little poll there. Of course more, says Pixie. Higher, says Ump. More. Exactly. I agree. So even though Bitcoin's at like 80K today, and I think Bitcoin's going to go lower. I do. I think we're going to go down into the 50s, maybe 40s. But I don't care. Because I'm not looking at what the price is going to do this year. I'm sitting in this position, accumulating free Bitcoin every day based on what the price is going to be in the long term. Put a 1 in the chat if you're more of a long-term thinker, a long-term investor. I'd imagine most of you are going to put 1s. And so, even though I think Bitcoin price could go down 40% from here, I don't really care, because I think even if I just straight up bought Bitcoin today and did nothing, no DeFi, nothing, if I bought 1 Bitcoin for 80K, in 3 years it's probably at least double. So I don't really care what it does between now and then, because I know where it's going to end up. But instead of doing that, I put money over here and let it accumulate, grow into more Bitcoin and stablecoin every single day. So it's really, I also believe in dollar cost average investing, right? DCA. Well, by doing this, it's free DCA, right? My average cost is $0 because I'm getting handed free Bitcoin every day. And let's remember, we're also getting handed stablecoin, right? So if I'm sitting over here getting, say I put 10K in here, over the course of the year, I expect to get, more or less $5,000 of Bitcoin. If the price of Bitcoin goes down, by that point, maybe it's worth $3,000. But in a year from now, it's probably worth $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. But the stable coin I'm accumulating the whole time, in a year, that's probably going to be about $5,000 of stable coin, regardless of what Bitcoin price does. And what can I do with that stable coin? That free stable coin I'm getting handed every day? Whatever I want. Bitcoin goes down to 50K, I can take that stable coin out that I've been accumulating for free and just buy Bitcoin. Or I could throw it in the Be the Bank strategy and get 8, 9, 10% and let it just sit there. I could also shuffle it back in to this exact position and grow that position. One thing that I really, really, really like is this. Like, if you are anything of a DCA person, maybe you buy a little bit every time you get a paycheck or something, instead of buying Bitcoin, put that money in here, because you're buying Bitcoin, but you're also keeping some in cash, and you're getting a great fucking yield because your Bitcoin is turning into more Bitcoin, your cash is turning into more cash. So instead of DCAing into spot Bitcoin, you can DCA into this and have your money working, accumulating Bitcoin and stablecoin. Put a 1 in the chat if some light bulbs have really went off for you in this stream over here on YouTube so far. Pixie says, seems like great potential for safer exponential growth than trading. It is exponentially more beneficial than trading. Because trading, I'm going to break it to you, you're going to lose money in the long run. Almost no one, less than 10% of people make money. It's way harder. It's totally active. This is totally passive. I don't do shit while I'm talking to you, while I'm sleeping, while I'm on vacation, while I'm at dinner. My shit's working. Accumulating Bitcoin, accumulating stablecoin. And like I showed you, now I don't really accumulate ETH and Solana, I'm just really a Bitcoin guy. But if you want to accumulate ETH, well, guess what? You can do ETH and stablecoin also. Currently that's paying about 145%. Solana and stablecoin, paying close to 300% today. Now, that 300, that's higher than usual. But the Solana stablecoin one, like that one usually averages more about 130, 140%. So it pays a little better than the Bitcoin stablecoin pool. But personally, I would rather accumulate Bitcoin than Solana. But whatever you want to do, the point is that this skill, this strategy, is if someone doesn't know how to do it, if someone's not utilizing it, they're missing out dramatically, right? Is that fair? Put a 1 if you agree. That if someone's not doing this, they're far from having the strongest portfolio they could have. Pixie already lost my ass. Trading? I bet. Been there. Now, I'm actually a profitable trader, but I really quit trading because I just realized, why am I trading? I can just do this and I'll beat the shit out of about every trader on the planet and I won't have to do anything. And I'm not at risk of getting liquidated like you are trading. Can you show how it's done? I can. But it's far too much for a live stream. Yeah, far too much for a live stream, especially far too much for one continual video. Maybe that's a good transition. So I think most of you are realizing you need to learn how to do this. And you're realizing how much you've missed not knowing how to do this and how much you're gonna keep continuing to miss out. And I don't mean FOMO, I just mean literally missing out. Because once you set this stuff up, like it's pretty passive. Like you gotta adjust ranges every so often, but it's pretty hands off. But you wanna be careful about setting it up too, because there are mistakes that you can make. And if you wanna go learn the rest, I've shown you how it all works, that it exists, showing you the potential. If you want to go learn how to do it, you can choose to go learn how to do it yourself, or you can choose to have someone teach you. Both have their pros and cons, right? If you try to go learn it on your own, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna have more pain. You're probably gonna lose some money just by the mistakes you make, right? Where if you have someone show you how to do it, well, you're going to avoid a lot of mistakes. You're going to avoid a lot of pitfalls. You're going to be much more efficient, save a lot more time, etc. So put a 1 in the chat if you want to go learn how to do it on your own. Put a 2 if you would prefer someone like maybe me teaches you how to do all this in a fast, safe, efficient way. Is the DEX reputable and steal your money? Some of them aren't. So you got to be very careful with which ones you choose. It's a good question. So some 2s coming in. I mean, obviously that's the answer. So of course, I have something that I put together, right? A whole step-by-step video course taking you from complete newbie, step-by-step, how to avoid pitfalls and mistakes, and how to get yourself in active positions, the exact positions that I've been showing you over here. Again, I've used over 1,000 DeFi protocols, easy. There's only about 8 that I use. And I went through, put out together a whole step-by-step video course showing you how to do every single thing, how to go to the platforms I exactly use, how to best use them, how to avoid mistakes and pitfalls and stuff like that. Is it okay if I share that with you? If I show you what that looks like? It's not free. It's certainly not expensive. It's not free. It's certainly certainly a lot less expensive than not learning how to do this. But let me know if it's okay if I show it to you. Because some people like get pissed if people do things like have a course or something. So I don't want to piss anybody off. So I need your permission to be able to do it. Otherwise, I just won't show it because I don't want to piss anybody off. I don't know why people get mad about that stuff. Because like you wouldn't get a paycheck if people weren't like selling goods and services, because that's how the money comes in. And I don't take sponsorships on this channel. I don't sell my soul, but I got to support the channel somehow. And so by selling something worth pennies on the dollar, right, that's worth a lot more, that's very valuable to the person buying it directly from me, something I make based on my experience, I feel like that's the most ethical way to do stuff. So looks like I got a couple yeses. If the Clarity Act passes, do we lose yield on stablecoin? You do not. This has nothing to do with this Clarity Act at all. I'm from Canada. Does it work here? Good question. This works anywhere in the world. No matter where you're at, no matter who you are, this works for you. Okay? Good question. So I'm going to dive into it. I think I got permissions from you guys. I'll show you what the course looks like. Let me make sure I pull up the right thing. So, I call all this magnetic investing because to me, most people in crypto or in any market are constantly chasing things. But to me, doing this stuff, you turn yourself and your money into a magnet and it just attracts Bitcoin and stablecoin to you. It just attracts it. So I call it magnetic investing. That's a fair description, isn't it? I put my money here, I don't do anything, and it just attracts more money, like a magnet. Magnetic investing instead of chasing investing, which is what everyone else does. Constantly chasing the next thing. I just sit back and be a magnet. Anyways, so here's the outline of the course. I have an intro video. Right off the bat, I sit here, I talk about what to expect here, and I also say, hey, I'm gonna say it to you right now. If you're new to this, which you are, don't go put in a crap load of money, right? Put in a little bit. Just like, I don't care how much money you got. Like, just put in like a few $100. Like, because in the beginning, it's not about making a crap load of money. Like, you gotta chill out. It's about building your comfort level, right? This course is meant to bring you skill-wise, knowledge-wise, expertise-wise, 95% of the way. But that final 5%, no one can give you. That needs to come from your experience, right? So if you put in a little bit of money, if somehow you still make a mistake after going through this course, it's for a small amount of money. But the biggest thing is that you build your comfort level, because when you deposit money, it's foreign and new to you. So you're gonna be like thinking about it all the time, checking it, all this. But if it's a smaller amount of money, you'll probably be a lot less anxious and you can just chill, because this is meant to be passive. This is meant to be chill. This is not meant to be something you think about all fucking day. So you want to start out like that. Put in a little bit of money so it's not something you get all anxious and nervous about. And then as your comfort level builds, and it will build fast, then you can add to it. And you can keep adding to it as your comfort level builds, right? You'll start to understand it more as you use it. And it won't take too long before you really get the hang of it. But that's my recommendation to you, period. No matter how much money you got. Okay, you can always add to the positions, okay? But start out small, just so to keep yourself calm, right? That's all it is. But anyway, so I do that, and then down here, before we even get into the training, I thought I'd include these. I have a few links that give you up to $100 in Bitcoin. If for some reason you don't have a Coinbase account, this link is gonna give you $30 in free Bitcoin. If for some reason you don't have a Gemini account, which I bet most of you don't, this will give you $50 in free Bitcoin. right? I'd say, $50 if you buy 100 in Bitcoin. Really, you could just buy $50 in Bitcoin and then sell it immediately, and you'll get that $50 free, okay? And if you're in the US, set up a Fold account through this link, buy your first gift card, which will give you Bitcoin back to buy the Bitcoin, the gift card, and it'll give you $20. So right off the bat, you're getting somewhere between $50 and $100 of free Bitcoin before you even start the course with a few minutes of your time, okay? That's pretty good right there. And then we get into the actual training. The first two things we got to do, and do this stuff in order, okay? Don't skip this stuff. Don't be silly. Claim your free Bitcoin. Don't be silly. But down here, then we get into the actual training. You got to set up your wallets. You need a Solana wallet and an Ethereum-based wallet. These are the two that I use. I show you how to set them up. I show you how to keep them safe, deposit, withdraw, and all the nuances of it, okay? But you need to set those up first. You don't even need to fund them, but you need to set them up. Just do that before you move on to anything else in the course, okay? And then we get into the actual training. Depending on where you are in the world, you may need a VPN. Like if you're in the US, you may need a VPN. They're very cheap, a few dollars a month. And it's not because doing this stuff is illegal. It's not illegal. The thing is that these companies, these protocols, they don't want to give the USA a reason to come hassle them. So they just block USA IP addresses, for instance, some of them. Just so that if the US comes and bothers them, they can say, listen, we block your country, bro. Don't come messing with us. Again, not because it's illegal, because these companies just want to stop the US from coming and hassling them. Okay, so you may need a VPN to use some of these depending on where you are. I'm in the US, I use a VPN for some of them, but I use a VPN on the internet all the time. So we get into the first training, which is Be the Bank, right? This is where we're getting yield on stablecoin. And I show you step by step my 3 favorite places to get yield on stablecoin, right? We're getting somewhere between 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% on stablecoin. I wanted to show you my 3 favorite places that are well capitalized, that have been around a while, that are the ones that I actually use. And then we move on to the next strategy, which is Be the House. There's only 2 places that I do this with. This is where we're betting against the gamblers. We're getting that yield on the money they borrow from us, as well as when the gamblers lose, we get their money also. Okay, these are the 2 places to do that. Both of these are primarily stable coin yield strategies. Although with Be the Bank, you can lend out your Solana and Ethereum and stuff and get some yield on it. But for me, I primarily use them as stable coin yield places. And then the final training is Be Coinbase. I show you my 3 favorite places to earn being Coinbase, right? This is my favorite one to earn Bitcoin stablecoin. This is the one I was earning over 200% on. This is where we were earning almost 300% on Solana that I showed you over there. And this is where we were earning, 140% on Ethereum, right? And I show you these protocols, right? There's a lot of different places you can do this. These are the 3 that are well capitalized, that I use, that have been around for a while, and I have vetted and been using. So those are the trainings, right? We have 3 trainings for Coinbase, 2 for the house, 3 for Be the Bank, couple wallet videos, and then of course some free Bitcoin set up there. And they're all videos, step by step by step. I expect that you're a complete newbie and you don't know anything about this. So this is meant to bring you as a complete newbie all the way to getting positions opened. And I don't make these big fluff videos. They're not filled with a bunch of blah, blah, blah. It's all like do this, do this, do this, do this. And I show some of the mistakes you can make, which ones to avoid and stuff like that, and any kind of other troubleshooting you might run into that are like, oh, this is holding me up. So I show some of that stuff on there too. But in reality, there's no reason that you can't go from complete newbie to within a matter of a few hours having going through the course, and within a few hours having an open position. Like, there's no reason that you can't, even if you're a complete newbie, come over here, set up your wallets, which will take you, watch the videos, the whole thing will take you maybe 30 minutes tops. And then if you wanted, you could just jump right ahead to earning Bitcoin. Go through this video, set it up, within a couple hours, you could have that position open. Nothing is stopping you other than knowing how, of course, right? And the way that I recommend going through this whole thing is in order. Claim your free Bitcoin. Don't skip this. That's just silly. And then set up your wallets. And then, before you do anything, I recommend going through all the videos before doing anything. And then after you go through all these videos, then decide, okay, where do I want to start? Where do I want to put my first position? That's what I recommend. right? If maybe you already know right off the bat, you're like, hey, I really liked that Bitcoin earning thing he showed me on the YouTube live stream. I just want to go straight to that. Then go ahead and do that. But my recommendation is to go through all the videos and decide what you want to do. But if you already know what you want to do, just go straight to it. There's no reason that within 2-3 hours you couldn't have an open position. There's no reason that within 2-3 hours, you couldn't be sitting here in this Bitcoin position, Bitcoin stablecoin, earning that yield. Okay? And that whole course is meant to do that for you, to bring you safely, efficiently, effectively straight into being a DeFi user. And way less than 1% of people in crypto know how to use DeFi. Still to this day, which blows my mind, but they don't. They don't. So the opportunity is still just massive, okay? I hope that was a good explanation. Your next thought is probably where do you go get it at? If you want to get it straight up, normally I charge $1,000 for this course, and it's worth it. Now, I'm not going to charge you $1,000, but it's worth $1,000. You yourself said that if you knew this a year ago, you would have earned over $1,000, probably thousands of dollars. So you've already lost out way more than that not knowing how to do this. So it's worth at least that, this skill, knowing how to do this, right? Is that fair? Definitely. This is a skill that you acquire that passively earns you Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and stablecoin, right? Very valuable skill, easily worth at least $1,000 to learn how to do this in a safe, fast, effective way, okay? I hope we agree with that. But during the stream, I'm not gonna charge you $1,000. Again, it'd be well worth it. If you will say yes and be an action taker and decide today, I'm gonna learn how to do this. I'm gonna take him up on this offer. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. He showed me these great places. He's gonna show me exactly how to use those places, help me avoid pitfalls and mistakes. If you'll be someone that takes action today, I'm not gonna charge you $1,000, but you gotta get it during the stream. If you'll get it during the stream, and I'm only gonna be on here for like 15 more minutes, instead of $1,000, you'll get the whole course, yours forever, videos, step by step. And when you're done checking out, you'll end up on this page, and there's the link. It'll bring you directly, right? When you're done checking out, it'll bring you directly to the trainings, directly to them. You're done checking out, you just click this link, boom, take you right over here. You'll also get an email to the trainings, but you'll be able to get access right away. And if you'll be an action taker and get it today, instead of $1,000, it's all yours for just $97. 90% discount, but only during the stream. There's the link, dailycryptobull.com. Take a screenshot if that helps you, but go get it now and it'll just be $97. But when the stream is over, it's going back to $1,000. There's the link. No pressure. Get it. Don't get it. I took the time to lay all this out, show you how it works, how the fees are, all that stuff. And I'm providing an opportunity that if you want to take action today and stop missing out on this, you can get it today for less than the cost of a few beers at a baseball game. And those beers at a baseball game, not a very good ROI. This, pretty goddamn good ROI. Or you can save the $97 and go try to learn it yourself. It's gonna be clunkier, it's gonna be more painful, it's probably gonna end up costing you a lot more than $97 in mistakes, but your choice. What I don't think is a good choice is to do nothing. Making a decision to learn this stuff is the right decision. Decision to do nothing, it's just gonna keep shadow costing you. You know what I mean? Like if you learned this a year ago, you probably would have earned thousands of dollars in Bitcoin and stablecoin. And that's kind of the shadow cost, the missing out on this. Anyways, all right. Can we message privately? Why? I mean, Like you can just ask me right here while I'm still on the stream. Info is valuable. How can I? Oh yes, that's what you said there. Okay. But drop any questions you got in here. Whatever you wanted to message me privately, feel free to just drop it right here. But we got about 15 minutes, and I'm going to end the stream, and the price is going to go back up. If you do go get it, let me know you got it, so I can thank you for supporting the channel, for taking action. Let me know. I'm on water. What's the website, boss? dailycryptobull.com. Take a screenshot. That's where you can go get the course, and you'll get it instantly, because right when you're done checking out, there'll be a link directly to the trainings, and the trainings are yours forever. You'll also get an email. Be sure to check your spam and junk. It's probably where it'll end up, with links to the training too. So yeah, so about 15 minutes. It's 1:45. I'll stay on here till 2, and then I'm gonna end the stream, and yeah, the price goes back up. I mean, if we do a little math, like, I really like the DCA idea. Like, you know, if you're a person that believes in DCA, which I am, what's interesting is you could be buying Bitcoin every week, or you could just be depositing in this pool every week instead. And any money you put in there, you'd be buying Bitcoin and having some of it be stablecoin, and you'd be getting a yield, turning it into more Bitcoin and stablecoin every day. So to me, it makes a lot more sense to DCA into be the Coinbase strategy than to just buy spot Bitcoin. Because with the DCA into be Coinbase strategy, you're buying Bitcoin, but you're also saving part as stablecoin, and it's growing into more Bitcoin and stablecoin every day. Magnetic investing. Can you do it on a Tangent wallet? Yes. I mean, you can use a hardware wallet, and I do use a hardware wallet. I use a Ledger, but a Tangent would be fine. If you mean like, now I've never used, if Tangent has like an app that is like its own wallet interface, I've never used that. But I'm assuming you mean you're connecting your Tangent hardware wallet into like Phantom or Rabby. Those are the two that I use, and you can connect your Tangent, your hardware wallet, right into those. Because they're really just interfaces. So you can use, if you have an existing hardware wallet, you can just use that too. It's a good question. Like I said, I usually use a Ledger hardware wallet that I run through the Phantom and Rabby wallet interfaces. And that's the type of stuff I show you over there in the training too. I mean, do you like the idea of this? Is this something that you very much want to learn how to do? Is 97 little dollars gonna really be the thing that stops you from just learning all this today if you want? Because you could literally get this and within 2-3 hours have open positions. And like I said, I'm charging 97 bucks. In the training, right? You're gonna get up to $100. You're gonna get somewhere probably between $50 and $100 in free Bitcoin just by doing these first few steps, which will take you, I don't know, 15 minutes total. I mean, right off the bat, that pays for most, if not all of the course. But even if it wasn't there, like $97 to learn that, in a safe, efficient, time-saving, effective way from someone that's been doing it for longer than about anyone you're ever going to find, showing you exactly what he's doing, what pitfalls and mistakes to avoid, how to troubleshoot common road bumps. I mean, and you know damn well, $1,000, well worth it. I mean, imagine if you learned this a year ago. You know damn well you would have accumulated thousands of dollars. Some of you said 10 to 20K in Bitcoin and stablecoin. Is $97 really going to be the thing that just stops you? For some of you, it will be. But I'm trying to make it as no-brainer as possible, you know? Amarjeet says, got it. Appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Congratulations on taking action, on seeing an opportunity in front of you and saying, yeah, I'm doing this. Because most people won't do that. And you know what? Most people won't win because they won't make decisions. They won't invest in themselves. Like by getting this, you know, Amarjeet, you invested in yourself. You invested in acquiring a skill that more than pays for itself. So thank you. You'll get the training link in an email, but if you already checked out, you should have ended up on, you know, this page right here. Or, yeah, I mean, there should be a link when you're done checking out on the thank you page. There should be a link right here to click to take you straight to the trainings. I got it yesterday. I didn't receive the email. I have it saved on my laptop though. Yeah, the email is probably sitting in your spam or junk somewhere. I have tried. The automated email thing has just frustrated the hell out of me for so long. Like, I don't understand. Sometimes it shows up for some people instantly. Sometimes it takes an hour. Some people never find it, and I don't know why. My guess is it's buried in your spam or junk. How much do you have in these positions? I won't tell you exact amount because I actually don't even know the exact amount off the top of my head. But I could say about 80%. Not that you should necessarily do this, especially since you're newer. But I have about 80% of my portfolio sitting in the Coinbase strategy. Because I can't justify having it anywhere else. I feel very comfortable with these places. I've used them a long time. They've been around a long time. They're well capitalized. They have fantastic teams. They have great volume, great liquidity. About 80% of my portfolio is sitting in the Coinbase strategy because I'm earning on average 100% yield, earning Bitcoin and stablecoin every day. I mean, ask yourself, do you know anywhere even remotely close to a better place to put it? I don't. I don't know the exact amount. I'd rather not say. But about 80% of my portfolio sitting in the Coinbase strategy. The amount is irrelevant because there's no too little amount to put in my opinion. Like, everyone's at different phases, at different places, have different amounts to work with. The point is having the skill and being able to use it and stuff like that, you know? So it's not really about the amount. It's about having the positions. I hope that makes sense because you have positions whether you're aware of it or not. Like, if you're holding some Bitcoin, well, that's a position. And instead of me just holding Bitcoin, instead of it just sitting in my wallet, I have it sitting over in DeFi. So it's turning into more Bitcoin and turning into more stablecoin. And I add to it every so often because I just don't know of a better place on the planet for me and my preference to be. Like, I can put money over here and it can just go to work passively and turn into more Bitcoin and stablecoin every day. at about 100% yield on average. Today it's at 250%, but the average, sometimes it'll be below, sometimes it's above, but it averages out to about 100%. And I've been doing this for quite a while. But you got to know where to do it, how to set it up, etc. And that's what the course helps you with. VFL, agree, I'm starting small right now. And that is the best way to go. Because once you set up these positions, you will be thinking about it. You'll be checking it all the time probably. I'd say do your best to just not even check it. Wait at least a day. And what's amazing is imagine this. Imagine you put, $100 in the Be the Coinbase strategy, in that Bitcoin stablecoin position. And you wake up tomorrow and and you see the fees that you've accumulated, which is your yield. And you're like, whoa, I just got on $100. While I was sleeping, I got 20 cents of Bitcoin and 20 cents of stablecoin. That doesn't sound like much, but wait a minute. While you slept and did nothing, more Bitcoin and stablecoin just came to you? Whoa. And then it's real. And then you're like, holy shit, it's really what he said it is. But you'll never know that. You'll never have that feeling if you don't ever get a position open. Everything else is just theory. Because part of you is going to doubt me, is going to doubt this whole thing until you actually experience it. And the only way to experience it is to do it. And the safest, fastest, most efficient way to do it is to just get the course and get it set up. All right, I'm out of here in 4 minutes. The link again is dailycryptobull.com. Normally $1,000 for this course, and you know damn well it's worth that. A lot more than that. But you can get it for $97 dollars. It's a very little amount of money. And you get the entire course. Videos, step by step. Hell, before we even start the actual training, you're going to get between $50 and $100 in free Bitcoin. So you're going to get most or all of the whole course paid for just by doing these 3 steps. Maybe you already have a Coinbase account. All right, well, then you don't get that $30, that's fine, but I'll bet you don't have a Gemini account. I'll bet you don't have, if you're in the US, I'll bet you don't have a Fold account, right? And then you go through the training, set up your wallets, and then I recommend just going through all the trainings and watching them and don't do anything. And then after going through them, decide where you want to go. I'll bet most of you are going to choose Be the Coinbase strategy, and then it's preference. Do you want ETH? Do you want Solana? Do you want Bitcoin? Do you want all 3? Do you want to just get yield on stablecoin? But they're all videos step by step. Perfect for newbies, people that don't know how to do this. If you're a DeFi master, this is not for you. You're not going to learn anything from this because you already know how to do it. I made the course. I wouldn't buy this course because I make the course. I already know how to do it. But if you don't know how to do it, this is the best thing you're going to find. Save you from mistakes, pain, save you a crap load of time, and just get you in position and find the right places to do it. I show you the places that I use based on my experience. I'm out of here in 2 minutes. So the price goes back up in 2 minutes. Drop any questions you have in here for me. And when you're done checking out, when you get to the thank you page, the link to the trainings will be right there. Just click it and take you straight over to the trainings. You'll also get an email, probably going to end up in your spam and junk, but you'll have instant access to it. And it's yours to keep forever, because all you need is the link. There's not even a login. Do you think it's doable for someone with less experience in crypto? 100,000%. I made this assuming that whoever was watching it knew absolutely nothing about it. whether it was their first day in crypto or their 1,000th day. I made this so that a complete newbie can go step by step by step, from zero to actually having open positions in DeFi. And again, it's only $97 if you get it during the stream. So that's not much money, that's not much risk. And if you do the first few steps before you even get into the training, you're going to get most or all of your investment back in Bitcoin from doing those few steps in the beginning. Because that's really what you're doing by getting this training. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your skills. You're investing in your education. And in my opinion, in my experience, there is nothing that has ever given me a better return on investment than investing in myself, investing in my education, investing in my skills. And this is a skill that no one can take away from you. Doesn't matter if Clarity Act passes or who's president, doesn't matter. You can use DeFi. There's no one to stop you. No matter where you are in the world, you can use DeFi and you can use blockchain. Yeah. You know, it's interesting because like I was at a baseball game on Saturday and I realized so many people had paid, you know, well over $100 a ticket. And I'm like, I just always think about stuff like that. And then they go there and they spend $100-$200 on way overpriced beers at the game. And it just always gets me because I'm like, most people don't hesitate to drop hundreds of dollars to go to a game and buy a bunch of beers. And there's almost no return on that investment. But then when I show them that, hey, you can acquire this skill that passively pays you Bitcoin and stablecoin every day, and I have a whole training here for $97, they're like, no. They like hesitate, and I'm like, the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. But that just goes to show you, us as humans, we're not very sensical. We're very odd. Because logically, you know damn well getting this course $97 is a fucking no-brainer, but why don't you get it? Whoever hasn't gotten it. Confusion, miscalculation. But at the same time, you might have spent hundreds of dollars at the bar over the weekend. Or you go to a football game, you'll drop $100-$200 on beers and not hesitate to massively overpay for a few beers. And there's no return on that investment. And you wonder why you're not winning. You wonder why your investments aren't working out. Spoiler, it's your decision making. The few people that will actually go invest in themselves, acquire a skill that it obviously shows it's worth a fucking ton more than $97. Those people, they're gonna win because they can logically see an opportunity, assess the risk and reward, and make a decision. What's the risk here? $97? That's nothing. In 2026, that's nothing. And if that is a lot of money to you, you're in the wrong place, period. Because if you don't have any money to it, if $97 is a lot, then that means you don't have any money to invest anyways. So your focus shouldn't be on investing money you don't have at all. Your focus should almost 100% be on growing your income and decreasing your expenses. Now, no matter how much money somebody has, they should have a level of focus on increasing their income and decreasing their expenses. But if you're broke as shit where you don't have $97, you shouldn't be wondering what to do with the money you don't have. You should be learning skills to acquire higher income and look at where you can cut expenses. Are you worried about CBDCs or DeFi becoming under scrutiny by the government? Not at all. CBDCs are irrelevant to using DeFi, and DeFi, in terms of regulation by the government, like it is so far away. Because they can't really regulate it, right? And that's why you'll need a VPN to use some of these, because they're like, well, we're gonna block the company, says we're going to block US IP addresses so that the US government can't come fuck with us at all. But anyone that wants to use it, like, they can find a way around just by turning on a VPN. Because it's not illegal for us to use. Now, if the government says, oh, it's illegal to use DeFi, which they will not do, they will not do that. The president himself has a DeFi protocol, World Liberty Finance. That is a DeFi protocol. That shit, it's here to stay. And regardless, all of that stuff, is that any reason to not learn how to do this today? This speculation of what might happen way into the future? Probably not, because you could be earning free Bitcoin and stablecoin today. You could have been doing it over the last several years. Your portfolio would be so much fatter than it is right now if you had learned how to do this years ago. Do you want to look ahead years from now to look back to this moment and go, fuck, I should have done that? Just continually keep missing out on doing this because of $97? Doesn't make sense. But you can only lead a horse to water. I can't make it drink. You got to decide to drink. Your call. All right, I'm going to end the stream. Here's what I'll do, because I got to pack this stuff up and get out of here. Here's what I'll do. I will, should I leave the link up for a little bit after the stream? Tell you what, here's what I'll do. I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to leave that discount up for about 15 minutes or so. So I'm going to pack my stuff up and go home because I got to grab something. And then when I get there, I'm going to open my computer back up. I'm going to raise the price up, back up to 1,000 where it normally is. So here's the link again, one more time. I can get this thing to come in focus. There it is. There it is. dailycryptobull.com. Step-by-step video trainings. When you're done checking out, when you get to the thank you page, boom. There'll be a link right here on the thank you page. It'll take you straight to the trainings, okay? And here's what it looks like. Before you even start the trainings, there's these videos to give you up to $100 in free Bitcoin. Like you're gonna get, I bet none of you have a Gemini account. This can get you you buy $50 of Bitcoin and then sell it right away. You'll get that $50 free. Just buy a gift card, which is gonna give you Bitcoin just to buy it, and then it's gonna give you an extra 20. If for some reason you don't have a Coinbase account, this is gonna give you 30. You're gonna get Bitcoin before you even start the training. It's gonna pay for most or all of the entire investment in yourself for this course. And then you just go straight into the training, set up the wallets, and figure out where you wanna start. Go through all the trainings, or if you know you wanna go straight to the Bitcoin stablecoin, just go right here. Or you wanna earn Solana, you wanna earn ETH, or you just wanna get stablecoin yield. Step-by-step stuff, okay? Just $97. That's it. All right, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna pack this stuff up and go home. When I get home, about 15 minutes or so, I'm gonna raise that price back up to 1,000. And you know damn well it's worth that, because you know you've missed out on thousands of dollars not knowing how to do this for the past year. You're gonna know you're gonna miss out on thousands of more not knowing how to do this. So just $97, just get it. I'll leave it up for 15 minutes. Thanks for hanging out. I hope to see you on the other side. Either way, I wish you well. Take care.